Hey, how's it going? My name's Soberdelic James. This is my addiction recovery live stream at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tonight we're going to talk about, will your alcohol relapse prevention plan, can yours be similar to mine? And my answer is yes. It's a very short answer because my relapse prevention plan is Alcoholics Anonymous and the program. And it's very simple. All I have to do is follow simple instructions and suggestions. How's everybody doing? Can you hear me? Yes, Miss Ford. 4/20/2024 spelled backwards is 4/20/2024. If you can't hear me or if some weird stuff's going on, hey, it's Michael. Shades of Clarity, how you doing? Daniel Kopic. Julie Zanotti. Thank you, Julie. Before we get into the topic, I'll give you an update on that. For those of you who don't know, my sister has passed of heroin overdose, and I'm in the great state of New York. Which way is the camera? There it is. Yeah, there it is. I'm in the great state of New York, my hometown of damn near Canada, and we cleaned out her apartment, which was hard for my sister, and it was hard on my back. I'm still wondering if I'm a human because I don't feel, I don't react to death right away. I don't know if, but you know what's cool is the program of Alcoholics Anonymous has taught me that I'm human with faults, and also to watch out for my ego. Don't let my ego get oversized, but also don't let your ego tear you down, because it'll get in in the way of your usefulness to your fellows. My ego telling me I'm a piece of crap will get in the way of my usefulness to my fellows. So I had a nap today, and I was laying there. Usually I might feel guilty for taking a nap in the middle of the daytime instead of working on my channel. But I was nice and comfy and guilt-free because I'm human. Humans need to rest. We worked hard cleaning out my sister's apartment, and it was rough. There was a lot of syringes, and there was a lot of memorabilia from my sister Leanne. She was a sweet, tough cookie. She had a picture of me and her on her refrigerator, which was touching. But addiction will take us if we don't figure out a relapse prevention plan. How you doing, Bonnie? Cheese Machine. What happened? She OD'd on heroin. She was very sick. Thank you, Ingrid. Good to see you. Mike Tucker, what's happening? Yeah, thanks, Cheese. Like I said, I am some sort of freak. I cried like a baby at my mom's funeral, but before and after, it was almost like, I think what happens is we take on the opposite mood or or state that our close ones, our close loved ones are. So right now my older sister Terry needs me, so I guess instinctively or naturally I assume a strong position of neutrality. I'm neutral. That's my best guess. Yeah, Bonnie. She was 17 though. My mom and well, the first death I experienced was my 92-year-old Nana, and Nana was what we call our grandmother in Polish. And I'm sure some of you call your grandmothers Nana as well. And she was 92. So, to me, I'm still trying to figure this out. But to me, that was perfectly natural. She's old. With Leanne, I have talked to her for years and years about addiction, and we were both addicts. And I don't know if that's the reason, but I wasn't surprised. And yes, it's sad. And it's almost embarrassing, but it's almost embarrassing how neutral I have been. I think it usually comes later, the grief and the missing. Does anybody else have any experience with this? Yeah, it hit me at my mom's memorial, Mike. I was up there, well, I got up there to talk about my mother, and it just hit me, and I bawled like a baby, and my sister said you could hear snot in my nose and shit, which I'm happy for, because before that, I wasn't showing much emotion. Guys handle it differently. Everybody handles grief differently. I think we males might get a little more practical about it, and we are here to help those who need us. I'm not sure. Stephen Foss. I lost my younger brother when I was 21. He was 19. Suicide by shotgun. Alcohol and drugs was behind it. I processed it several times. So I did notice that after my grandma, my Nana died, a year, it was like months or a year even, or even today, there'll be times where I miss her. Chocolate chip cookies and ginger ale reminds me of her. And then when my mom went, I turn out to miss her and grieve for her when things remind me of her. Yeah, Miss Ford, my sister asked me to write her eulogy. Oh, yeah, that was the announcement on the Facebook page. My sister sent it to me to see what I thought about it, and I gave her some ideas. Well, thank you. That means a lot to me, actually. And yeah, I'm gonna write her eulogy as well. I wanted to give this phone stream a try, see how this works. Yeah, I'm sorry for all of your loss. I have also thought that my sister, my mom, and my Nana, when they passed, they all lived 13 hours away from me. I literally wasn't close to them, but I mean, I guess I could be grateful for having a neutrality during tough times because I know my sister needs me. Um, can you guys hear me all right? The iPhone should have some pretty good sound and picture. Thanks, Kopic. Hey, Stephen Foss. Yeah, I lost my sister to an overdose on heroin, and that's why I'm up here in damn near Canada. And we're gonna have her memorial next Saturday. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, all of you. I get your messages for posts on my when I posted to my community feed. For those of you who don't know, there's a community tab on this channel where I post stuff. I posted the 12 principles of AA today and how they relate to the 12 steps. My father, Leanne, the one who passed, has a different father, same mother, Mike Tucker. So no, he lent me his Jeep actually. Yeah, she would, Copic. Well, she was. She would watch me. I have a stream of her calling in a couple years ago. Thanks, Jay Tabor. If you guys want to know her, she called in a couple years ago, and if you want to, just look up Soberdelic James. My sister calls in, and I showed a picture of her and all that. And I haven't watched it yet. But I'm grateful that I have it. But she was very proud, and she was smart, but really, really sick, strung out on heroin most of the time. She would nod off at Christmas parties and stuff like that. And there was one where I was at a restaurant with her too. Yeah, she went through times of where she was clean. And she also had, most of the time, she was either wrestling with methadone or Suboxone or heroin. I'll tell you a story that I talked to her about 6 weeks ago on the phone. She got robbed in Central Park in Manhattan, New York City. Her and her boyfriend got robbed by 4 guys, and I wish she could tell you the story, but essentially she sent her boyfriend away because he is a drug dealer, and she went to the police station right there, got the police, described them, led them to the 4 assailants, the four robbers. They were on a train getting ready to dip. The police stopped the train and they were caught. Leanne got all of her stuff back, including her phone and other people's stuff, because Leanne is an opportunist like I am, so she just took a bunch of other stolen stuff. And I said, Leanne, if you were 3 seconds late to that police station, you wouldn't have caught them on that train. And the dumbasses stayed together in a group too, so that's probably also why they got caught. I am being good to myself, Stephen. Like I said before, AA has taught me that my ego is dangerous when it's not right-sized. And it doesn't only bring you higher than your peers or make you seem or give you the delusion that it's higher than your peers, but it also brings you down and makes you feel less than and inferior. But now AA has taught me, after the 4th through 7th step, AA has taught me that I'm human. I don't have to live by my character defects. I can start living by my assets. So I slept like a baby, just feeling human, finally, feeling a part of. Which if you're an addict or alcoholic like I am, you know, our first drink, our first drug made us feel like we were a part of and made us feel like we were human. Yeah, she was 35, Mike, 36. And yeah, she was a Sober James fan, a Soberdelic fan. Mainly ketamine. Yeah, I'm feeling stronger than ever, which is good. Some might say it was God's purpose for me to feel strong when my older sister is weak during these times of the loss of our sister. And I'll feel it when I feel it, I know it. But we all handle grief differently. The most important part is that I don't drink over it and don't do anything stupid over it. And I feel strong. I just got back from a meeting where I literally just, on the meeting guide app, looked up a meeting. It was 7 minutes away. I went. It was a room full of strangers, but they weren't strangers. There was like 50. A guy told his story. He at the end, he was drinking Everclear. He was chugging Everclear with a splash of grapefruit juice, just because alcohol wasn't affecting him the way it used to. So he was really trying to get back to that first high. And then another guy said, my hometown is Schenectady, New York, and it's known for its crime. And he said, he announced that there will be a meeting in Schenectady Clubhouse. And he said he was a 90-year-old recovered alcoholic, and he said, come to the Schenectady Clubhouse. If you can't find a chair, just call the police and a couple chairs will open soon enough, because no doubt some people have warrants. It was a joke. That was pretty funny. What's up, Matt Rush? Welcome. Our spirit will push you to new depths in your spiritual aspects of AA and help you thrive. Thank you. Appreciate that message, James. I was gonna have a couple beers today, but it's 4:20, but the message reminded me that it ain't gonna help me work through anything, so I had a couple smokes and got some mushies. Those mushies will help your obsession for alcohol. And I'm glad you got my message, man. I mean every word of it. These things I say, it's almost like a God of my understanding is speaking through me. Yeah, the mushies can be scary when you're going through some eye-opening times. I hope I'm still streaming. I just got a phone call coming in. But those the mushies, I'll be hesitant to take some mushies when it comes time uh, during serious times in life. 90-year-old still goes to AA meetings. Wow, amazing. Yeah, that's especially important, actually, Bonnie, to notice those. He was like 40 some years sober. It's especially important to notice that because there's a reason. And it's because even though the obsession to drink has left him long ago, after working the steps, they they come to AA to remind themselves, because alcoholism is a lifelong thing. There is no cure. The 12 steps and the spiritual program of AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, is a treatment, and the meetings are your medicine. So it's important to notice those people that are still going to meetings. They don't go there because, I mean, you start to enjoy them. But there's two times you should go to a meeting: when you don't want to go and when you do want to go. Because when you don't want to go, somebody there could need you, and when you do want to go, wait, I got that backwards. When you do want to go, somebody there could need you, and when you don't want to go, you could need someone there. Dinner vacation that one alcoholic has with another is mysterious, spiritual, almost incomprehensible. Shades, it was me on the phone. I was just going to offer some support. Well, thanks, Shades. Copic, a gram or so lost me uncle a year ago and had some mushrooms, positive but very overwhelming. They definitely stick around for us. My friend killed himself, Mike says, when his wife left him. To this day, his death makes me think about how someone can be here 1 minute and gone the next. Yeah, that's, I think, part of why I don't feel it immediately when someone passes is because it hasn't really hit me yet that they're nowhere. Because Leanne would disappear, she would disappear for a while. So I'm used to not having her around, but Christmases won't be the same. Stuff like that. We can all be evil, Copic. I do hear what you're saying, though. Devil with a red dress on, but we can all be evil when we're in our ego. Yeah, that identification between an alcoholic and another. If you still, that Bill W. documentary is still something to watch if you haven't watched it yet. It's on the community tab of this channel, Soberdelic James. But I can say very shortly, or very quickly, briefly, what the topic means. It means go to AA and listen and take every one of their suggestions. That's my relapse prevention plan, and there is nothing on earth that beats it. I swear to God. We're all fucked. We're all fucking evil when we get in our ego, Copic. Don't get it twisted, man. D-Mac, how's it going? saw your withdrawal videos. I actually watch them when I want to remember the hallucinations. I go through DTs now, so I'm done. It's too terrifying. 51 days clean. Hell yeah, D-Mac. We do recover. Good for you, brother. I'm on my 5th month clean this time, and I'm like we were talking about, the old timers that still go to AA, time is important, but it's definitely not paramount. You're not going for time. And 51 days is awesome. It signifies that you're on the right track and that you can do it. But, you know, there's people with 20 years that will tell you that it's all about emotional sobriety and it's all about being spiritually fit. Yeah, there's been some AAers that have passed in a couple meetings too, I noticed. Yeah, congrats, D-Mac, that's awesome. How did you do it? Are you going to meetings? It's a struggle without the meetings. I don't know. I don't think I have tried it without the meetings, and it just doesn't work. Without the program of Alcoholics Anonymous, it doesn't work. Spiritual fitness is important. Bonnie, if you you can look up Spiritual Awakening Alcoholics Anonymous, and it explains spiritual experience and a spiritual awakening. But that's my relapse prevention plan, and that's how easy it is. Simple. It is not easy, but it is very simple to listen and practice a few suggestions, practice 12 steps, practice what they say, practice the program, and it's bulletproof if you listen, if you're honest, open-minded, and willing. DMAC, I surrendered. I got a sponsor and I go to meetings. Doing 90 in 90, that's 90 meetings in 90 days. And at 5190, I mean, that number is significant. You're 51 days sober and you've been to 51 meetings. That's a testament. The cliches work. It's a spiritually beautiful thing. I finally had my spiritual awakening. Sweet. It is a beautiful thing. It is beautiful. It's awesome. In every definition of the word awesome, it is awesome. Good for you, DMAC. I'm really glad to hear that. It's like I tell people now, I've been in and out of the rooms for the past 2 decades. Each time I came back after a relapse, I was willing to take a couple more suggestions. This time, there is not one thing that I'm not willing to do. And that's why they say you got to be honest, open, and willing. There is not one thing I'm not willing to do that AA tells me. If you tell me to do it in AA, if AA suggests it, I'm doing it. That's how much I believe in it. That's the faith I have in it. And I've been, there is no doubt in my mind. Bill Wilson was the most important person of the 20th century. And DMAC, I have, it's on YouTube. Bill Wilson, the founder of Alcoholics Anonymous, the writer of the big book. His documentary is on YouTube. It's 1 hour and 43 minutes long. I highly recommend it. And if you can't find it, it's on the community tab of my channel here. I hate socializing and I'm redlining my body permanently. Sleep deprived and work 70 hours this week. No chance. Good job. I can do this. Solo. You can't do it solo, man. Point blank. And what I'll tell you about being too tired and being too busy to go to meetings. We were never too tired and we were never too busy to go to the liquor store. If you can't go to a meeting every day, you could go to the liquor store every day. But that's what my sponsor told me, and he was right. I'd walk through snow to go to the liquor store, call in work, skip funerals. It's just a suggestion, Kopic. Just remember it. That's all I ask. We all find in our own ways. Yeah, I remember the days when a 12-pack could last me a couple days, and then it turned into a 24-pack every day. The only reason I was drinking beer is because I drank liquor at the same rate I drank beer, so I'd be blacking out in no time. At least you weren't driving, Bonnie. Yeah, sometimes I think to myself, if I had all the empty alcohol containers that I've ever consumed, I think they would fill up like a gymnasium from floor to ceiling. Well, Kopic, only you can tell if you're an alcoholic or not. I can't tell you that you are. Only you can say. But I will say it's a progressive disease, and your story is not unusual. Your story is not unlike the me in my 20s. I was just at a meeting. The guy who was talking about, he was drinking big glasses of Everclear with grapefruit juice on top, trying to get drunk, but it just didn't work on him anymore. This is the third stage of alcohol where you're not getting drunk. Or he said he would get drooling and passing out, but he wouldn't get the drunk that he wanted. Yeah, good shit, Daniel. Quit what's killing you first is what they tell you in rehab. I'll always try to go on these like clean slates and stop smoking cigs and all that. But if you need to, Daniel, just smoke your weed. Weed doesn't kill you. But if you smoke weed instead of working the steps and getting to the causes and conditions of why you want to alter your mind in the first place, the weed will turn into alcohol again, and alcohol kills, especially alcoholics. Yeah, like I said, Daniel, only you can say if you're an alcoholic or not. You have to be honest. You know, I'm not saying you're not. I don't know you personally to the extent of being able to observe you, but early and middle stage alcoholism isn't as glaring as the late stages. His tolerance betrayed him, right, Shades? Yeah, well, strictly because of that advice that I've heard all throughout recovery, that they say, don't quit everything at once, quit what's killing you. And that's why I'm back on these nicotine babes. Dependence is a good word for it, Kopic. Alcohol abuse, alcohol use disorder, alcoholism. Admitting that we're alcoholics is something that it blocks a lot of people from getting better. Everyone's different, but Kopic, you're still young. As long as you're honest with yourself, you'll do fine. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. It all depends. It does progress though, so you will know soon enough. It takes more and more, and you drink more and more, and there's more and more consequences. That's true, Mike. It burns out your reward system, drains your dopamine, your serotonin, endorphins, oxytocin. Alcohol is extremely destructive. It kills more people a year than all other drugs combined. There's a sober movement going on right now. A lot of people aren't drinking even if they aren't alcoholics. Yeah, I know, Shades. I knew what you were talking about. His tolerance betrayed him. And I hear a lot of alcohol. I've been like that before too, where I was just left with the headache. I wasn't getting drunk. I would drink and drink and drink, and I just wouldn't get drunk. I would just have a razor's edge headache. Yeah, it is. It's toxic. Cheese, you're right. Yeah, bro. The rooms of AA are always welcoming. I didn't talk to one person in this meeting I just went to. I just listened. You don't have to socialize, but let me tell you, when you socialize, you feel better. Alcoholism is an isolating disease. We isolate. We fear people. One of the promises of Alcoholics Anonymous is your fear of people will leave you. And this came true for me, and I didn't expect it to. I did not expect it to. Thank you, Kelly. It's good to see you. It's real good to see familiar names like you, Kelly. Please be careful, ES says. Anyone quitting alcohol cold turkey after being physically dependent on it can kill you. Damn straight, ES. Detox is an option. I have videos on it if you look up Soberdelic James Detox, Soberdelic James Alcohol Withdrawal. I have stories about me and detox and how to do it right and how to do it wrong. I have stories of a grand mal seizure for when I did do it wrong. Grand mal seizure. Just sounds terrifying. Local Smitty, hello. I went to the ER twice. You can go to the ER, tell them you're withdrawing from alcohol, you need to stop. I got Librium. And this all depends on where you're at in your journey. There were times in my journey where I couldn't be trusted with benzodiazepines because I would eat them like candy. When you have a spiritual experience or a paradigm shift in the way you're viewing your alcoholism, I've had people tell me they can tell I'm serious, and they trust me immediately. They trust me immediately. My dad lent me the Jeep, and it was only months ago that I was not to be trusted. I was drunk all the time. But you will know it when you're serious, and your loved ones will know it. People who know you will know it. And Busporin worked well for me. Here's something. If you want to quit and you just can't seem to quit, go to the ER. They hit you with an intravenous benzodiazepine, usually Ativan, immediately, and your nerves calm down, and it feels good. And I say to myself, maybe I really can do this. I'm not sure about Boost Bar, but they also hit you with what's called a banana bag. It's a IV of vitamins, mostly vitamin B. Alcoholics, after drinking a shit ton, are malnourished, mainly in the B vitamins, B12 and B9 and B this and B that. Also folic acid. Yeah, that's what I mean, Shades. Experienced people can tell when you're drug seeking. They can also tell when you're serious. I was so serious I came back to the ER the day after my first ER visit because the Librium they gave me the first time wasn't doing shit. So I went back, and that was a God thing too, because as it turned out, the first script wasn't a high enough dosage. The doctor took one look at it and said, I usually send people home with twice this much. No wonder you weren't feeling anything. Librium and Xanax, Klonopin, Ativan, these are all benzodiazepines, and they were my drug of choice. The reason I went for them this time, I wasn't drug seeking. I was sobriety seeking, and I knew I could do it with some benzos. Like I said, a power greater than you will either humble you to the point of honesty and open-mindedness and willingness. That's rock bottom. It's the gift of desperation, G-O-D, God. The gift of desperation. When you're desperate enough that you will do anything, whatever it takes, to stop drinking. That's called the gift of desperation. And that was bestowed upon me to where, I took those Librium as prescribed and got off booze. Then I was pacing around my house for a couple weeks, wondering how I'm ever going to be not this miserable, not this restless, irritable, and discontent. And I remembered there's a chapter in the big book called There Is a Solution. Because as I was pacing, I was literally saying, what's the solution? What's the solution here? Why can't I get it? What am I missing? What is the solution? And I remember I went and found my big book, dusted it off, and opened it to the chapter, There is a Solution. And when I started reading it, I stopped answering my phone. And that's when I went to an AA meeting, and that was the beginning of the rest of my life. A gift of desperation. Sore kidneys are common after long stints of alcohol. I've felt them a lot, Michael. It feels like your lower back hurts. And also, if you feel it under your ribs, that's your liver. Sometimes you can feel how swollen and hard it is after drinking. This will pass, and you can get what's called an enzyme test to check and see if your liver enzymes are elevated. By some miracle, mine aren't that bad. But yes, sore kidneys. Also, here's a hint, Michael. There's something called Pedialyte. And what it is electrolytes. So you can do Gatorade, you can do Propel, but Gatorade's mostly sugar. They do have electrolytes in them. If you can afford a Pedialyte, get Pedialyte because your kidneys are dehydrated. A lot of the symptoms you're feeling is dehydration and malnourishment, along with withdrawal. But an expert pro tip that somebody gave me this time while I was detoxing is get some electrolytes. And the best way to do that is Pedialyte. You can buy it, you know, you can buy it in Walmart and CVS and Walgreens and stuff like that, I think. If you can't get that, get Propel. And if you can't get Propel, get Gatorade. What you need is electrolytes. So my friend is an ER doc in the VA, and he told me that they're so cheap there, they don't even have real banana bags. Just saline and B vitamins in the form of pills. Right. Yeah, B vitamins and folic acid and stuff like that. That's stuff that you're going to be deficient in after long benders. Good night, Shades. Thanks for dropping in. I'm getting there myself. I think this has been a pretty good stream considering it's on my phone. I do have my studio set up, and maybe I'll do that tomorrow. If I miss a day, please understand I'm with family right now, and I want to stream, but I don't always get to. But I'll be here for the next week or so, and we'll be seeing ya. Miss Ford says, Michael, take care of this now. I didn't, and went 48 hours without peeing and had to go back to the hospital for like 2 days because I was in renal failure. Yeah, dehydration, malnourishment, this is all part of withdrawal. Your body's not functioning right. It doesn't have the right vitamins and acids. That's why you go to the doctor or go to the emergency room. And as my uncle says, don't worry about the bill right now. Think about your health first. And I've had emergency room, $1,100 emergency room bill wiped clean before because I called him and my dad reminded me that everything's negotiable. So my uncle was absolutely right. I got the treatment, and then a month later got the bill wiped off. Cheese Machine, you have a good night. over-the-counter nerve pills are good too. Has magnesium you also need. That's right. Oh yeah, Kortikov. I was just reading about that. Michael. Literally today while I was looking stuff up. Just heard of that, Michael. Remind us of what it is. Liver failure, hardening of the liver, fatty liver, enzymes. Liver enzymes can be fairly normal until all of a sudden they are not. I think that keeps some people drinking for years, longer than they're thinking they're in the clear and not truly alcoholic. Stephen Foss, thank you all for dropping by. The topic is this. You don't have to come up with your own relapse prevention plan. In fact, it's dangerous for us to come up with our own because our minds are sick. It's very simple. Go to AA and take every suggestion they suggest. It's a 100-year-old program. The stuff they say has been proven for 100 years. So that's my relapse prevention plan, and I have no doubt it'll work for you. It's been working for alcoholics for a century. So with that, I'll say goodnight. Dehydration's a beast, Tom Sock, I hear you. Thiamine, B1, yeah, brain problems, fish oil, folic acid, stuff like that. Make sure to stay hydrated, get some vitamins and some electrolytes. So I'll see you tomorrow or the next day. Like I said, I might miss a couple this week, but I shall see you soon, no doubt, and we'll be back on this journey together. You have a good night, Ingy, and Kopik, and Kelly, if you're still out there, Tom Sock, ES, Michael, hang in there, brother. You're getting better, I can hear it. I can feel it. Half the craziness that we feel is because of the booze and the shit we're doing to our body. So y'all have a good night and hang in there. And until next time, keep it clean, keep it real, keep doing the damn thing. Peace.